Hey, what's up, Taurus? Welcome to your general tarot reading. I'm going to be doing my 139 spread using the anime tarot decks and the two traditional tarots. If you're inclined to support this channel, do not be afraid to like and subscribe. And your energy actually came out immediately here. Your core energy for this reading, the High Priestess. Very, very interesting. It's also coincidentally the box cover for this particular deck. So, right off the bat here, this is energy of listening to intuition properly. Listening to your higher power, so to speak. It is typically for your well-being. So I'm curious to see what kind of support energy we've got here for you. Also, just to stipulate, I'm sorry if you can hear my nephew upstairs. He's getting close to bedtime, so his rowdiness is kind of kicking in. So I apologize for that in advance if there is some background noise. Alright, so I'm not going to expound too much more on this until I get some clarifiers. But sort of off the top here, the whole idea is that your reading is going to be about your connection with your soul, so to speak. It's going to be about your connection with your intuition, your connection with your own well-being. Not necessarily in a mental sense, not even necessarily in an emotional sense, but in a spiritual and intuitive sense. So first clarifier off of High Priestess, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Earth energy. Very powerful. Very strong card for Taurus. Definitely a good sign that listening, if you can listen to your higher power properly, it's going to yield great dividends for you. Material dividends for not only yourself, but in the form of familial success, material stability, massive material stability. And the key to that is going to be listening to your higher power properly. It's going to be making sure that you can listen when your soul is expressing what you need to do to actually attain this Ten of Pentacles. So very powerful for a Earth sign. Absolutely powerful. Very good. It's wonderful to see this. It's wonderful to see these energies because they are on a very optimistic track right now. And that's exactly where you want this to be. It hasn't been everybody's read to go this optimistically. So let's see what we've got for the secondary supports. So we've got Queen of Wands reverse and Ace of Cups reverse, which is not great. So essentially what I'm seeing here is, even though you might get very excited about this success, even though you might achieve this material stability, there is a slight warning here that you are going to perhaps become a little overbearing because of it, a little overconfident, a little snideful, a little snitty. Don't let this success turn you into a bully. You do not want to turn towards this toxicity because you think you're better than other people. Yes, perhaps if you learn how to listen to your power properly, you can be yielded this type of success, but unfortunately the warning I'm getting here is that you are going to sort of turn that into like an ill temperament. You are going to be toxifying to a certain extent. You're going to kind of go full Prada Queen, so to speak. You're basically going to go full Mean Girls. You're gonna go from Lindsay Lohan pre-Mean Girl to Lindsay Lohan post-Mean Girl. That's like basically what's going on here. So very disappointing. Right when this was going really smooth for you, it starts to emerge that you are sort of beginning to abuse that. And that's very disappointing. So let's clarify this Ten of Pentacles then. Very weird, very strange here. So we're following up Ten of Pentacles with the Eight of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. Very strange that I made the Mean Girls reference, because that's kind of what I'm seeing here again. We're seeing this energy devolve a little bit where, yes, there's this material stability, but the methods of which it's received aren't necessarily very just. And whatever those methods are, they're still given in good grace. So I'm not sure exactly what this is all about. It was starting off wonderful, High Priestess, Ten of Pentacles, but a lot of the supporting energy is not very righteous. A lot of the supporting energy is kind of ill-dignified. Eight of Pentacles reversed, that can very often be receiving money from a shoddy fashion. So, you know, like, maybe you're like a used car salesman, but you put sawdust in the engine to keep it from rattling. So the car sounds great, and you sell it at a high price because the quality seems good. But after, you know, 100 miles or whatever, the reality check comes in for the customer, and the car is actually a junker. You got your money anyway, though, and yes, you got your money, and there might be like legality that supports that transaction, but you can't lie to Spirit. In that instance, Spirit will always be keeping tabs on how you cheated somebody out of that true value. So, very disappointing. And definitely a warning here to really reconsider this toxicity. Even if there's a lot of like ulterior support, even if other people are supporting you acting like this, it's not the most conscientious way to go about these way to go about things. So let's get a final clarifier here for Ten of Pentacles. That's very disappointing. It's very disappointing to see Ten of Pentacles devolve like this, and the High Priestess devolve like this, and then even to have the Six of Pentacles showing up for graciousness is very bizarre. So I'm very curious to see what the final clarifier for this row is going to be, because this has devolved just a little bit. And it was starting out so great, and I was so proud. But you are an earth sign, so I know the material stability matters. Getting it at this price is a little disappointing, so let's see the final clarifier here. The Hanged Man. So that's about... And for some reason off the top of my head, I wanted to say that this might be Taurus energy. I'm not sure about that, though. So I'm not going to stick to that one. The Hanged Man here, it's almost like you're misinterpreting your success. And you are sort of plotting your next steps here. And it's very interesting because the energy is in the upright, so it's like even the universe, to a certain extent, it's almost as if the universe is utilizing you to a certain extent. So whomever you're cheating over to a certain extent for this Eight of Pentacles reverse, the universe is trying to get them to learn something. And it's easy, and I can say that in this tarot reading that that's what the energy is saying. On a personal level, I still think that's shoddy behavior. But unfortunately, with the Six of Pentacles upright, Ten of Pentacles upright, the Hanged Man upright, that's almost where this is becoming justified, at least in this particular set. Because the Hanged Man is about taking a pause to retroflect on moving forward. But what I really hope is that you're not moving forward with more of this behavior. If you do and you keep getting away with it, then sort of the only thing I'm seeing here is the universe is utilizing you to try and teach those individuals a lesson as a part of their growth in their experience. So on a personal capacity, not cool. I don't like to see this in justification, but on the universal level, Spirit knows better on that, and this might be right where you need to be, and it might be right where the people you are cheating over need to be. And that's the nature of what I'm seeing. So let's move on to the Queen of Wands here. Queen of Wands reversed, if we could, please. Let's see what kind of clarifiers we have, because this is where it's moving into your toxic energy, and whoa. And immediately, right off the bat, we have the Justice card in reverse. So, as I was suggesting, even though you might be short-term materially justified in acting like this, there are natural repercussions for cheating people over in this fashion. And I was trying to spin it for you that the universe maybe wants you to be a piece of this puzzle for teaching someone else a lesson. However, I'm changing my mind now because I'm seeing this Justice card in reverse. That is not a good sign for you. That is not a good sign that your indignified energy of Queen of Wands reversed, which is very toxic behavior. It's very self-centered behavior. Very, very indignant. That energy combined with this Eight of Pentacles reversed energy is not going to yield you great cause and effect. You're not building momentum that is going to be stable for you in the long run. You're building a certain type of momentum that has to come crashing down on you. And it is also the Justice card, which to a certain extent can represent legality. It can very literally represent the legal system not serving in your favor. So maybe you think you're getting away with this behavior, and maybe because of the energy around the scenario, it feels like you're getting away with it. But this is a stark warning that you are not going to be able to get away with it forever. And maybe that's what this Hangman is suggesting, is that you should really take a step back and reconsider what acting like Eight of Pentacles reverse and acting like Queen of Wands reverse is going to deliver to you. Because according to this, what it's going to deliver to you is the Justice card in reverse. I'm sorry if you can hear the baby upstairs. That's my niece. She's also, I guess, getting close to bedtime, so she might be a little rambunctious as well at the moment. So, dang, powerful Justice card. That clarifies to me that the universe is in fact not on your side. So I might have spoken a little too soon there, trying to read into the Hanged Man there. But after seeing it like this, I'm much more convinced that you are not going to be able to get away with this shoddy behavior forever. Something is going to catch up to you on this. And honestly, you're an earth sign, which means that you're the furthest removed from fire. Fire and earth are the furthest removed from each other out of the four qualities. Fire is the primal force itself, and earth is the completion of that primal force into material form, which means you're definitely out of your element acting like this Queen of Wands in reverse. That type of energy is not root to your nature, so to speak. So it's not an energy you want to stick around in. If you understand what I'm talking about here, maybe you're already acting like this, definitely reconsider how you're acting, because it's motivating you to... It's leading you down this path that it's going to topple down on you at some point. I wouldn't even be surprised here if you get the Tower as a warning to this whole thing. So let's see what we can get here. I'm getting a sense to shuffle, so I might do a shuffle here. Right, I'm going to do a quick shuffle. As quick as I can with this deck, it shuffles a little weird. Alright, so let's give this another shot. Further clarifiers for Queen of Wands reverse, please. Okay, so clarifier for Queen of Wands reverse, we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. This is a great sign that whatever built up your achievements are... It's striking me that it's built on false premises. Whenever you succeeded with this Eight of Pentacles in reverse, people saw the surface, and that led to them being very proud of you and very gracious towards you. Maybe they invested into you, especially if it's yielding this Ten of Pentacles lifestyle. However, due to the fact it was built on some shoddy ground, once this indignified energy topples over and this cause and effect, this negative cause and effect takes its toll on you, you're going to lose this graciousness of the Six of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles reverse is a failure to complete activities with others, or a failure to succeed in material ventures with other people. And it's very likely that with the Six of Pentacles graciousness and with this Ten of Pentacles energy, which is typically a collective of material stability, a lot of that's going to come toppling down here. And you're going to fail to succeed in those ways that you did before, but that's because your true colors have come out in whatever the shoddy behavior is. And it's tied into this Queen of Wands reversed, acting like this, really overconfident, really belligerent, like way too cocky, convinced you're going to get away with this. And the signs here are that you are not. And you're at risk of losing a lot. And that's part of what this overall energy of the High Priestess is acting like this Queen of Wands reversed is heavily inspired, by this material success. So you're quantitating why you could possibly keep getting away with this. And what you're being called to do here is you've got to get out of that purely quantitative set of energy, and you've got to try and focus on your intuitive capacity. That would lead you better than this. Same thing with the Hanged Man. Taking a step back and really considering what all of this can do to you. Because some kind of karmatic justice is not laid out here to play in your favor. So let's get another clarifier. Once again, wouldn't be surprised if you get the Tower or the Wheel of Fortune at this point. So let's get one more clarifier here on the Queen of Wands reversed. Too many cards, 4 cards. I could have filled out the whole thing, but I decided to. I'm looking for one clear clarifier here for the Queen of Wands. So here we go. One card, and ooh, looks like it's the Judgment card. Ooh, it is the Judgment card. So I knew that because my Judgment card has a little crease in it. So Judgment is very similar to the Justice card in the upright. It's a sign of your karma coming due. It's also matched with the Hanged Man, which is about applying your judgment into your future path to figure out what kind of path is best for you. The Judgment card also mixes in with the High Priestess, because the High Priestess is sort of about intuitive judgment. So High Priestess, Hanged Man, matched up with the Judgment card, that has a lot to do with being called to embrace a more accurate form of judgment. And that's a more optimistic spin on this. A more realistic spin here, though, with the surrounding energy, is that the Judgment card is just a sign that the universe is going to cast its judgment upon you. And it is going to allow the cause and effect you've built up to take its very natural toll. And it's not going to have any mercy for you after how much of this indignified energy is mixed into this. So very, very interesting card, because if you don't rectify this energy, the Judgment card is going to be very heavy. If you can apply your own judgment in a different fashion, you can rectify this situation. And you can make the difference for yourself. So you're going to have to, it's going to come down to you which side that plays on. So let's move on to the Ace of Cups in reverse. That's not great. It's definitely being very disappointed. So it's definitely a sign that at this point, that you aren't necessarily going to be super stoked about how everything has gone, and that you're going to be blessed with very disappointed emotionality over this whole thing, which is exactly how you would feel if the Justice in reverse strikes you for acting indignified, for cheating people over. And it's exactly how you would feel if you lost the Six of Pentacles graciousness through the Three of Pentacles in reversed action. And it's exactly how it's going to feel if this judgment takes its toll on you. So let's see, the first clarifier on the Ace of Cups reversed is that even the Three of Cups reversed. Wow, so a lot of failure here. A lot of failure with other people. We're looking at whatever this Six of Pentacles graciousness was, it is going to hurt a ton. It's going to hit you like a ton of bricks when you lose it. Because you have Three of Pentacles reversed and Three of Cups reversed. Add that together, that's 6. So you're basically losing all of the momentum you built with the Six of Pentacles in one fell swoop from the Three of Pentacles reversed and the Three of Cups reversed. You're not just losing the material stability, but you're losing the emotional happiness. So you're not just losing these people's material support of you, you're also losing their emotional support. You're really driving a wedge between you and all of these individuals. And it's not where you want to be. And it's playing out like it's not going to feel good. Very disappointed. It's very disappointing energy. But at the end of the day, it's because of the shoddiness here. Whatever plagiaristic behavior puts you into this position. The natural consequences when people, whoever figures this out, they aren't going to keep supporting you in the same way. So this reading is turning into one heck of a warning for you to do your best to avoid this. So you could be at different viewers could be at different stages of this. Some of you could be at the very beginning of this, and you're kind of, maybe you're about to do the shoddiness. Maybe something that just came to mind is perhaps you are way early here. Maybe you're budding in your material stability, but you're afraid that you're going to lose it, and that makes you cut corners to preserve that. So maybe you're at that point where you're about to cut the corner, and there might be some short-term bonuses, but in the long term, it's not looking great. So you have the potential to overdo, like, you have the potential here to turn that around before you even take that action. If you've already done the shoddy behavior, you have the option here to make amends before the amends have to be made for you. And if it's, you might already be past that point even, and you've already been stricken by the karma, so to speak, and you're going through the emotional turmoil, and it's just validation that, this reading is just validation for why this happened. So many of you could be at different stages. There's a lot of complexity in this reading, and you're going to have to determine which step of this you're at for yourself. But there's a lot of potential here for you to turn this around if you're early enough in this. And if you're well beyond that point, then this is essentially just some validation for why this happened. So let's see what the final clarifiers are. Maybe there's some hope in this, but we'll have to see it. And as soon as I say that, the World card flips out in reverse. Very powerful card. This is a sign that, this is essentially a sign of not learning the lesson necessary. It's a sign of not seeing why this happened. And Taurus is even on this card. The only two zodiac on this card are Taurus and Leo. So Taurus is on this particular energy. Very disappointing. Definitely a sign of not understanding why this happened, perhaps. Definitely a sign of not accepting why this happened. Maybe it's a sign of not being willing to forgive the outcome, but it's very blocked. Very blocked. Stagnation in your growth over why all of this has occurred. And that's not a good sign if you want to make amends for this whole thing. So that's very disappointing. Very disappointing. Let's get the final clarifier, please. Whomever needs to hear that, it's often very hard for those types of individuals to actually continue to be here listening to this stuff, because it's already pretty tough. And then hearing that you're not growing properly is usually a pretty big turnoff, but that's essentially what the energy is giving me here, that you are not, someone here is not very open to learning from this situation, which means they're very stuck in judgment, and very likely what they're doing is they're very stuck in this Queen of Wands energy still. They've got to turn this energy around. They've got to embrace a different quality, a more natural quality to Taurus, so more Queen of Pentacles energy. as opposed to trying to go down this route of fire. So, dang. Okay, so let's get this final clarifier, please. One card, please, to do a final clarification on the Ace of Cups in reverse. If you continue to be stuck, not seeing the light in this scenario, you're going to stay stuck in this Ace of Cups feelings, which is very crappy feelings. You don't want to be stuck here. But you're going to be stuck there as long as you cannot learn your lesson from this. So, final card. Wow, even the Two of Swords in reverse. That is very simply, once again, it's okay. So it's just another sign that you aren't stabilizing. You're not managing to stabilize your emotions properly over this whole thing. A lot of like blame throwing, a lot of attributing guilt to everyone else in the situation, perhaps. It is a failure to maybe even some embarrassment. Maybe you're super embarrassed about this, and that's making it very difficult for you to really just have an honest talk with yourself about why this all happened. But Two of Swords reversed, it's a failure to rationalize why you feel the way you do. It's a form of avoiding your. It's a form of you're failing to stabilize your emotions about something from your past. And essentially what that is that you basically got had. Somebody figured you out. And it's very toxic to get figured out for being belligerent like this, and then it's still everyone else's fault. That's very toxic. And that's exactly what this Queen of Wands reversed energy was all about. So, I don't know why you changed when you got this material stability. It strikes me so much of the movie Mean Girls with Lindsay Lohan. I don't know if you ever saw that. Very classic movie. A lot of memes from that movie. But she changed like halfway through that movie. She came back to herself in the end, but like most of the second half of the movie, she becomes the mean girl. And things feel better materially for her for a time, but then like a lot of other stuff starts to fall apart around her. But she manages to pull up from that. This energy is showing that you're very likely going to be stuck in that energy until you can pull up like she did. Until you can really re-embrace your better quality and not think that you're righteous in acting in that toxic fashion. And until you do that, you're going to definitely not like how you feel. So if feeling better is pro-ultimate to you, then you definitely need to embrace what I'm trying to suggest to you here and understand why this is all happening. It's natural cause and effect. Even though you can get one over on people in the material realm, Spirit is always keeping tabs. And Spirit has a fine way of putting down that injustice. So, that's all I've got for you, Taurus. As I suggested, many different stages of this reading that you could be at. Many of you may be at very different points in this. And there is a lot of potential for healing in this. Because if you are at the bottom of this, you are not feeling good. There's a lot of things you've lost. And your resentment is kind of clouding your judgment as to why this all happened. And you've got to take some self-responsibility here. And you've got to accept within yourself your part to play in this. And you've got to rectify this toxicity that drove you down this route. And if you can do that, you can restabilize yourself to regain that material stability that you were able to get in the first place. and that's where you want to be as an earth sign. So I really hope that you can figure this out. I really appreciate that you were here for this reading. This was very interesting to do this. Very powerful. I hope somebody can heal from this. I hope somebody can put this reading to good use in their experience. So thank you very much for being here. Take care and good luck.